down the tracks. Middle of the night, howling wolves, I can't get them on my back. Middle of the night, headed straight to Aberdeen. Midnight train, as I pray, take this pain away from me.
So tomorrow, which would be the 18th of December 2021, Cobalt County Vandals, myself, Teddy the Animal Miller, our drummer, and our bassist Miles Milites, we're gonna come together and work on this new album. I think we did our debut about 4 months ago. It's called Two Ain't But Twice, and it was more geared towards the blues, which we love the blues. I mean, that's part of our sound. But I think the fact that we also are very heavily based in rock and roll, I think we really want to capture that again and get that sound to really come through on this album. So it's going to be we're planning on a much heavier album. Some of the songs we'd written before Two Ain't But Twice was even done. I think now it's time to really bring that back out. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited. Some of the stuff's written and some of it's not, and I'm actually looking forward to. I want to really experiment, because Teddy sings, lead on some cover songs, and he's a great singer, phenomenal singer. I want to be able to showcase everything that he's got to offer, because he is such an incredible musician. Both of them are. Miles is too. Miles is awesome as well. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to this. I'm excited. I can't wait. We'll see what happens. We're gonna do an acoustic cut of one of the Two Ain't But Twice songs too, kind of revamp it, because we've been doing it live that way, real kind of slowed it down. And I always love that when bands can do that, when you can have a hard hitting song and you can turn it into an acoustic. I'm looking forward to it. Don't know what we're gonna call this thing yet. We'll see.
What? Oh, excuse me. Here's the kick.
I know for a fact we went together because I had a migraine.
Yeah, you did after I was done with you.
We have found the sauce.
Drummers.
How does that mean, sauce?
Source, I said.
Oh.
I didn't say sauce. Fuck.
They're amazing.
I just took them. Oh, okay. We'll see how they are right now.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go. It's gonna go away.
Okay.
How many did you take?
Just one dose.
Supposed to take 2. You're a big boy, like me.
I am a big boy.
So
I'm a big boy.
I would take another one if I were you.
What? What are you calling it? Pop boys?
Yeah, it's what I'm a pop.
Oh man.
I know.
I am a man. I wear big boy pants and I have chin hairs.
I'm a man. My mom said so.
She called me a pop boy. What the hell's a pop? be in my own thoughts.
Shit, you can.
Sure you can.
It's the same way he looked at me last night.
Is that a beer? Ted, is that a beer? And dude, it's
No.
11.
It's a
It's a bong?
a radical skedaddle.
That's a bong.
Ooh, that's my hair.
Oh, that says bang.
It's a bong. Kind of does look like an O. Nutrition facts: 0 calories, still fat.
Damn, y'all ready? Y'all ready to fucking do this?
Yeah.
Miles is going to do the artwork for this album.
I got some creativity brewing. That was the biggest gig we've had. Was the last one?
Dude, the last one was sick, dude. It was, and it went so well because there's a level of, and I felt like that's what really inspired me to want to do the album even more. I know you and I talked about it, but I don't know if you caught what we did that night. That was very, very different than what we've done previously. But we had blues in the sense of fuck it, just go with it and improv, but we were rocking. Yeah, it was sick and it went really good, and I think that's the direction we need to be because it's even less rules. So my thoughts were when we were recording at the end of Abiding Conviction, you and I wrote the whole album, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing musically and most of a lot of the lyrics too. And then we never got a chance to do, I mean, we recorded the instrumental stuff. We never got the vocals done. We never got the bass even done. I don't think, you never laid down bass on that album, did you? Just a couple of songs.
Yeah.
So, and then everything fell apart. I feel that since you and I wrote it, that we should release it, but redo it, okay? I've recreated the intro to Firestorm with the piano. Another thing that has been on my mind is back in 2012, I wrote 11 Steps, right? When we did Abiding Conviction, I offered up a lot of stuff that I wrote for that band, and then we copywrote it, where I'm not the owner of the song anymore, not the sole owner anyway. So in my head, I was thinking the other day, I was like, I really miss my version of 11 Steps. And I was thinking of moving it to a different key, changing the lyrics and doing 11 Steps again. And I wrote a set of lyrics for it called 3 Bottles Down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just want your guys' thought on it. I mean, I don't know how you feel about doing something that's going to be blatantly a spin-off of 11 Steps, but in our own way. I'm not going to do the same guitar riff at the beginning. It's going to be a little bit more chords, but I want your guys' thoughts before I just say, all right, time to do 11 Steps, because musically it's very similar. His bass line is almost the same exact bass line moved up. It's still got the the only difference being that on the album we didn't do that. I don't know if you remember, we wrote that bunda 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 in rehearsal after we recorded it. So the recorded version doesn't have that anyway. And he could even do like his slide thing. Miles slides on fucking everything, which is cool. He goes
I'm down to it. Experimenting is the best thing to do when writing an album. So
I've spent a lot of time in my head trying to make sure that we're still staying true to who we are, but also going back into who we are. Does that make sense? Like we're staying like where we've got the bluesy stuff, but it doesn't all have to be that. And that's where I'm at mentally. It doesn't all have to, like Cyanide, for example, badass song. Firestorm, badass song. Why can't we do that? And then track number 4 or number 5 has a little blues shuffle thing to it. Why do we, you know what I'm saying? It's getting back to rules again. If I sit there in my head and say, no, we're a blues band, because we're not a blues band. We've never been a straight blues band. I mean, do you agree? We've been like a blues rock band. We've had like bluesy undertones, but I mean, every performance we've done, I know we've experimented in rehearsal with different sounds and stuff like that, but every gig that we've done, has it not been big sounding, distorted guitars, heavy drumming, you know, present bass, it's not really bluesy. There's more intensity. And I think that would qualify us as being a rock band still. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts? I mean, are you good with it, with experimenting going in? You guys know, when Abiding Conviction started, it started as a blues band. And then it started unwinding and getting more into trying to recreate 80s, like hair metal, whatever. It started out though, that's how 11 Steps and Diamond in the Rough, those are blues songs, right? Or they're blues, 12-bar blues. That's the mentality I have here, okay? Because all this stuff on Two Ain't But Twice, Let's Group don't sound like a straight blues song to me. It sounds like a rock song. So my thought is, why not have those blues undertones, but experiment with doing some of the rocking stuff again?
I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah. What went wrong is we started writing to the vocals.
Exactly.
That's what went wrong. That's when it got rigid. There's like this much amount of room, you know, to experiment with what we had. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
I just do what's comfortable.
And you know what I love, my favorite thing about this, and there's some songs that I wrote lyrics to, like I will sit and I'll just write lyrics. But I have no attachment to the layout of the lyrics, because lyrics are last to me. First is the music, and that's because I'm a musician first, and I tell everybody, I'm a musician first and a singer never. And then, you know, which I care about my singing, but that's the icing, that's the cherry on top to me. The fundamental to it is the music. I want the music to be, and that's how it's been. It was like that in the old band. The focus was the music, and then, you know, we tell Tone just, you know, do whatever. And that's what we were doing at that time. Now we're in a much different place. We can do whatever. Lyrics and melodies always come last.
Let's just do whatever. That's what I'm saying. That's the way I'm looking at it.
So my thing is, let me get this computer.
The moment we start trying to fit or follow a theme is when we start putting the cuffs on us.
Exactly.
Like,
so Firestorm is a super heavy song. I've got that on there. Cyanide, I would say, goes back more towards my type of rock, like that hard rock era. Yours too. New Breed, acoustic. Backdoor Blues is one that I want to do, and this is where I've got an idea for Backdoor Blues. It's like a blues song, but it's going to be like a jam. And I've talked to Greg, and Greg agreed to come and play the harmonica for a solo on it. So he's going to play a harmonica solo in one. When we go live, if Greg's there, great, come up and play your fucking solo. If he's not, you can play another guitar solo. You can do whatever. It could be a drum solo. It could be a bass feature. It doesn't matter, because we don't have those rules. So my thought is, on the album version of Backdoor Blues, I've got an organ solo, kind of like an organ type thing, like a bluesy-ish organ thing, and I'm probably going to distort it so it sounds real rocking. In my head, I'm hearing that would sound badass to have an organ that was ran through like tube overdrive or distortion. Again, it's all experimentation. I don't know if that's what we're going to do, but one I want to play with. And then Greg as well. I want him to do the harmonica, but I want to distort his harmonica. Think of Blues Traveler, right? So anyway, I want to do that on that song. I want it to be a jam. These other ones, there's just lyrics. So Heart of Mine and the other one are just lyrics. There's no music. It's just, that's a lyrics that I have to play with. Bad News is the one. Did you hear the demo?
no.
Okay, I'm going to play it.
Yes, but I don't remember.
Okay, I'm going to play it for you. That's one that I want to polish it. I definitely want to do that.
I'll pick you up, sit you down now. Don't you know that little Juliet needs a new Romeo? I'll slip in, slip out, stick around. I'm burning down the street.
3 bottles down is the one that's like the 11 steps. I wrote Name of the Game on there because you wrote it. We transposed it to the guitar off of the piano. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, fuck it. But my thing is you are a very good singer, and it's a dynamic. I like the dynamics in this band. I like how it's never one thing. You know what I mean? And that's why the idea when I had started thinking about this album, how cool would it be to be playing a show and play Let's Groove, In Too Deep, Cinderella, Firestorm, Cyanide. I miss the jam. I do. One of the things I miss, and I've told you this, and I told you this before, in fact, we talked about it the morning that we rehearsed for the trap. I miss the jam. I miss the part where your glasses fly off, you know, whatever, and you can't help but move, you know what I mean? I miss that, and we have the ability to do that when we don't overthink it. Let's just jam. Let's have fun. Let's grab them. And I want to do that on this album. I want to write those breakdowns and those hooks.
Okay.
So
You really know how to use good speech.
I try. So you guys are down, then let's fucking do this thing, huh? Wow! All right.
And practice again.
The official beer of the Cobalt County Vandals. Sometimes we cut demos and sometimes we don't. And there was a song that I was feeling. I was playing around with the guitar and I wrote the lyrics and wrote the music, and this is at least the working title of it. On here it says it's track A, but then the working title with the lyrics became Bad News. But when I demo, I just take, like, if we solo this out, like, once I figure out a tempo, I just get just like basic drums and just lay them in there. Teddy's an animal. His drums never end up sounding basic at all, so the song always gets crazy badass. This one here sounds something like this. Van Halen trick with my guitars. One channel's real quiet and really heavy with reverb, and the other one's the main channel. It works for a demo. It's something for me to show the guys and start their chorus.
Electrified beast, and I'm coming for you. From losing
what is it that you're doing to get the kick drum to go and keeping time like that? Like, how do you, I mean, it can't just be hitting the kick drum. I mean, because if I do that shit, it's not going to sound like that.
Well, the polyrhythm we've trained, like we would do 3 or 4 patterns, you know. We had this thing called, what was it, 16-0 grid, which went like. We had to keep time with our feet. Left, right, and know exactly which foot we were on.
Yeah.
So we would have to do this basically. Oh no, cut in half first.
Are you fucking hearing this shit?
Like that.
Aren't you glad you became a bass player? Because I know I'm glad I became a guitar player, because I'd fuck this guy.
I'm just training rhythms, and then you did triplets. You could do triplets too, which is a. That one's weird, the triplet one.
And so, like, when you're drumming in rock music, do you consider yourself that those fundamentals are with you all the time?
Oh yeah, every time. See, like I got the rhythm in my head. It's just at this point, it's getting my feet.
See, it sounds like the rhythm, it sounds on to me. Like, it sounds dead on, but what's blown my mind is how you're able to do that with your feet. You know what I mean? Like that. Like with just your feet.
Yeah.
Is it like a roll? Like,
It's polyrhythm. So,
but what do you do? Like, I'm saying, like, how do you get your foot to move that fast? Is it like the pedal or?
That is just practice. Those fundamentals I was talking about right now, those are hard on purpose. So if you train harder than what you're going to perform, that stuff will be easy. So the rhythm's not messing me up. It's just the cleanliness of the, instead of scrubbing it. So scrubbing it sounds like that.
Yeah.
I want to hear 3 distinct notes.
Oh, okay, on the kick.
Yeah. That's what I want. I'm getting anal on that because when you hear the it just sounds so satisfying. So I made a 4 with that because it's the 3, the attack, and then the 3 notes. So it's 4 notes.
Oh, okay, I got you. Rolls into the snare.
Yeah.
Rolls into the snare. Yeah.
Especially on your feet, you have to stay relaxed, just like your hands. If you start tensing up, you're not gonna. It's gonna translate into playing. That's why they're good.
That's why, dude. That's probably why I can't. When I drum tense. Always, everything's tight, and that's probably why I can never get my feet to do that.
That's why I can do all those extra rhythms when I'm like drunk or something.
Yeah.
Because
loose.
I'm loose.
Fuck yeah.
Exactly. I'm loose. So I can do those extra rhythms with my feet, and that's the problem. Is my brain is just so stressed and everything else. It's not allowing my legs to relax. So I need to just. It's just something you gotta practice. You know.
Basically, just getting your zen, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, that's all what it comes down to.
Bad news. Bad news. Coming at you. Bad news. Bad news. No one with you. Bad news. Bad news. Coming at you. Bad news. Bad news. Give it to you.
So the Backdoor Blues, it was really the quest to find that jam song. Okay, we wanted a song that would capture the kind of energy of some of the covers that we use as jam songs, like Voodoo Child and some ZZ Top stuff. We wanted to really capture that jam that we have done in the live shows and have an opportunity to create some originality with it. So the first part of that is, what has already been done on the Two Ain't But Twice album, and on the other 90% of this album is the guitar, bass, and drums, right? Those are fundamental. Those are the part of the song. But we were trying to think of what can we add to it? What kind of flair? What can we use to change things up? That's where the organ and the harmonica came in. We got a hold of my friend Greg, who had jammed with us at our show on October 23rd. And he sat in and played the harmonica, and it was super cool. It was awesome. We just had fun with it, and that's what our band's all about, is just having fun. We don't want rules. We don't want things to get too strict and carried away. There's a business side of it that Teddy, Miles, and myself do take serious, but we just wanted to have fun with things. So I got a hold of Greg. I messaged him on Facebook Messenger and told him that I had an idea and that I wanted to get him in on the album and get him to play. So anyhow, we had Greg come down, had a blast. His brother Brian, who's also a really good friend of mine, came through 2 days before Christmas, and we had a good time. We're just, drinking some beer, laughing, joking around, jamming. Ted was here. The guys were, it was just cool. It was a cool experience, and had a lot of fun. And Greg did a hell of a job. His harmonica solo really added that flair to that song, and it's actually more than what I even envisioned in the first place.
Tell 'em, Greg. I lived all my life like a rolling stone, city after city, all I've ever known. Time would tell, I had no soul to sell, no. I've been breaking beer bottles all over the floors of hell. I ran away from home when I turned 14, the baddest hellraiser they had ever seen. Time would tell, my life was a broken shell. Had me breaking beer bottles all over the floors of hell. Well, 1 bottle, 2 bottles, 3 bottles down, hell, I'm bleeding rock and roll and I'm getting around. 4, maybe 5, and I'm having a blast. If you're dancing in hell, better watch the glass.
So we had a song. There was a song that I wrote in 2012 in a band that I had created way back then, a blues band. And I had a song that was called 11 Steps. I didn't gain any traction. It wasn't something I wasn't doing a lot back then, mainly just writing and recording demos and stuff. And I'd put them on YouTube or whatever, but they never really gained a whole lot of traction. And then we started a band here in Bakersfield called Abiding Conviction. It was me, a good friend of mine, Tone Martin, and then the other two guys that are with me in the Cobalt County Vandals. And we had a lot of fun. We did. That band we had some good times and eventually some not so good times. Regardless, I offered up a lot of the material that I wrote to that band to use. One of the songs I offered up was 11 Steps. Unfortunately, Abiding Conviction ended, and then the Cobalt County Vandals were born. And when Abiding Conviction ended, it took 11 steps to the grave with it. That song was copywritten with everybody in Abiding Conviction, and it's not something I was interested in dealing with. I didn't want to get into figuring out who wrote what and who did what and all that kind of stuff. It's not worth it. So I sat down and I was thinking about it. I'm like, I do miss that structure, my original vocal melody and the guitar and the whole layout. So we decided that we would write a song similar to what 11 Steps was, but make it our own thing, add in some stuff and kind of give it our own spin. One night I was playing the guitar and I found some inspiration in some lyrics. And the words just kind of came to me. I lived all my life like a rolling stone, city after city, all I've ever known. I've been away from home since 14, so it made sense to write a song that had a little bit of real meaning to it. And I was a little hellraiser back then. I won't deny that. So we did that. We wrote it, and it turned out great, and it turned out original, and that's really what I wanted. And with complete respect to the old band, I didn't want to disrespect the old band in any way. I wanted it to be its own thing, but I wanted my melody and my stuff back from way back in the day. So we had to recreate. It came from the bones of something that had already been created, and it turned out very well. we wrote the song Wildfire right after we finished up Two Ain't But Twice, and I think before we even did the first the record release party, we already had Wildfire done and recorded and released as a single through the distributor. The cool thing about Wildfire is I get a thrill out of the interpretation of different people for what they think that Wildfire is about, and that's cool to me. I'm not going to give away what it really is about because I don't want to poison that thought process for other people. You decide what the song is about, right? That's what some of the best songs are, is finding your own special meaning for them. But Wildfire, we kind of wanted something real slow and a real traditional blues type song, and something acoustic for those instances where we may play shows that are unplugged, or something a little more mellow of a situation. We wanted a song that would do well in that. And one thing that I can say with Wildfire is when we play this song, I feel like I'm in a trance every time. There's something to do with the atmosphere around the song, the lyrics, the story behind it, and everything. It puts me almost in a trance, and I love it. It's a great song. I'm glad it finally is getting a home on this new Bad News album, because it deserves a home. It deserves that group, and for the people that still do purchase entire albums to listen to stuff, it's a song that is definitely worth the listen, and hopefully it speaks to the people the same way that I know it speaks to me.
Caught in a wildfire. Oh, you know I ain't never coming It's the first thing I'm thinking when my head's looking. Finding help, my love, 'cause in this fire is where I'll be fine. Stuck here in time, it'll burn away my flesh and you're still on my mind. Don't look on my ashes, girl, like dust in the wind, I'm blowing away. What else can I say? It'll burn away my flesh and you can do what you may. Taking on the day, gonna make it mine. Loose tight, alright. Gonna make it good if it takes all night. A lost soul, lost in the city. A hat for the tip and a coat for the pity. New breed, made for believing. Living for the dream that I'm dreaming of receiving. A lost soul, lost in the city. A hat for the tip and a coat for the pity. New breed, made for believing. Living for the dream that I'm dreaming of receiving.
started off back in, I want to say, early 2019. I had a project I was working on. I demoed that song, and I had a liking to it. I liked the message behind it. I was on a jury for a big murder trial here in Bakersfield. And on my lunch break, I would go over to the city center down the street, and I parked in the parking structure way up on the top, and I would sit there and eat my lunch. And it was a beautiful day, ironically pretty similar to a day like today. You know, the blue sky and, you know, the clouds, and could see the cityscape and all that. And I felt inspired, so I got out my notepad and started writing down words, you know, sunlight, blue skies, taking on the day, gonna make it mine, loose tight, all right, we're gonna make it good if it takes all night, that kind of thing. And then I stumbled on the chorus, the lost soul, lost in the city, a hat for the tip, a chord for the pity, the whole deal. And anyhow, so I demoed this thing. Didn't do anything with it for a couple of years, and then in 2021, in August of 21, we did the 2 Ain't But Twice album, and I showed that demo to Ted and Miles, and we were on board to do it. So we did a heavy version of it, similar to how the demo was. And then after the album was released, we started toying with doing an acoustic version. We had a show that was planned to be an unplugged performance, and I told the guys, how cool would it be to play something off the new album as an unplugged song? And so we got down to business and got to work and worked on writing New Breed as an acoustic song. Well, that went so well, it sounded so good, different but good, that we wanted to release it as an alternate version of the song. That way people kind of have their option, you know, what you're feeling like, you know, what you're in the mood for. So we cut it, and here it is. It's on the album, so that's pretty cool.
So New Breed, when we were getting ready to do this unplugged performance of New Breed at a show, we basically took the bass line to the original song with the essentially took those notes and built our chords off of it. And then we took the lyric structure, of course, and kind of changed it up, mellowed it out, changed some of the melodies around.
Sunlight, blue skies, we're taking on the day, gonna make it mine. Blue sky, alright, we're gonna make it good if it takes all night. Lost soul, lost in the city, and for the dip and the cold for the pity, yeah. New breed, made for believing, living for the dream that I'm dreaming of receiving.
And we essentially built the entire song off of that.
Sunlight, gold mine, we're digging for the gold till the end of time. Lose tight to realize I got a penny for your thoughts, a dollar for your life. Lost soul, lost in the city, out for the dip and a gold for the pity. Yeah, new breed, made for believing, living for the dream that I'm dreaming of receiving. Lost soul, lost in the city, out for the dip and a gold for the pity. Yeah, new breed, made for believing, living for the dream
kind of got its own little groove to it, right? Little. Yeah. So Ted and I had written Cyanide back in July of this year, 21. And we were doing it at the tail end of the last band we were in. Ted and I were writing the music that was going to be a third album for that band, which never happened, as I've mentioned previously. And one of the songs that was on the cutting room floor, so to speak, was a song called Cyanide. Now, my wife and I had been watching, we watched that movie about Richard Kuklinski, the mafia hitman, whatever. And it was a great movie, awesome movie, one of my favorite movies. And then shortly after that, I ended up watching an interview with Richard Kuklinski, one of his prison interviews. And I kind of perked my ears up. The cyanide, right? That's an interesting factor, an interesting subject matter. So I went ahead and wrote lyrics, and the concept of the lyrics being, what if, a relationship was like cyanide, right? If a girl had a guy that was potentially toxic to her. And so I wrote the lyrics. Ted and I had written the music, and when we got around to doing this Bad News album, we pulled that thing back out and gave it some love.
Slipping through your veins, take you down to the ground, poisoning your brain when I come back around. They call me high class, but I'm dirty and mean. I sit back and laugh while I put you to sleep. Can't you see I'm your cyanide? It's you and me, I'm your cyanide. Melt all your anger and melt all your pain. Melt all the thoughts driving you insane. These coals are burning till the end of time. The fire and the fury melts away your mind. There's smoke in heaven and I'm running like hell. I'm throwing matches in a wishy well. I burned my bridges, there's nothing more. I'll burn you down like a firestorm.
Song Firestorm goes back, along with Cyanide, back to July of 21, when we were working on the stuff with the previous project. And Firestorm had been demoed with that band, although nothing fully released, just demoed. And we pretty much had structured everything out, and it was a powerful song. And the crazy thing is, if you think about it, that whole song started off with me trying to check the tuning on my guitar. Ted and I were jamming. We were working on writing all the music for that particular project. And what we would do is we'd get together in our rehearsal space, and we would just plug in and jam, write stuff, all kinds of stuff. Some of it would be used, some of it wouldn't. Well, I was checking my tuning on my guitar. So I was doing something like that, and Teddy was, kind of perked up and started jamming on it. That's really what led to that song being what it was. And after we had the music together, I sat down and I had some scratch lyrics laying around that I called Firestorm. No melody, nothing, just basically a poem, a bunch of words that rhymed. And we sat down and it fit perfectly, which tends to happen more times than not. It's like the lyrics were made for that song. We demoed it, and it faded off into the darkness for the last 5-6 months. Actually, we at our last show that we played beginning of December, we played a show at a place called The Trap, and the morning of that show, I told Ted, I said, let's pull this thing out and dust it off. And we did, and we actually played it live there at that show. And I knew right then that it was definitely going to be on this album. Teddy had made some suggestions, because Teddy's a great singer, and he had made some suggestions for the vocal melody to be different than the working melody from the demo in the old band, because I wasn't singing lead in that band. I was a backup singer, and though I sang lead on the chorus, even in that band when we demoed it, I was singing lead on the chorus to the song. I never did the verses, and so Teddy had made some suggestions to change up the melody and really make it my own. He really pushed me to get creative, and I appreciate that. That's what makes us a strong working team. But anyhow, yeah, that's how Firestorm came to be, and then it just snowballed from there. And it wouldn't be what it is without the other guys either. I mean, Teddy's drumming, and not to mention, I think one of the biggest staples of our version of this song would be Teddy's harmonizing and the harmonies that he does through the chorus. This thing is only as powerful as it may be because of the collective of the band. Kicks major ass. So this thing here got a lot of meaning behind it. So little story time behind this 83 Strat here. Our band played a show. It was October 23rd. We were getting together that morning to rehearse, and my dog, Mocha, had passed away that day. And it was pretty unexpected. Really messed me up. Messed my family up. So I got a hold of we were supposed to play a show that night, and it was for a birthday, for a friend of mine. He was having a birthday party. And so I got a hold of my friends and told them we weren't going to be able to play. Couldn't imagine getting my head right to play the show. And Ted and Miles were real understanding. When I got back from the vet, the guys were real cool. They had some alcohol and doing their toast to the dog. And So we drank and carried on. And I talked to my dad on the phone, and my dad said, you know what, the worst thing you can do, whether it's a loss of a human or animal or whatever, the worst thing you can do is just sit around, right? So I said, okay, maybe we'll play the show, right? So I talked to the guys, and guys like, we're down. Let's just go. Let's jam. Let's do this thing. So got a hold of my friend again. We ended up going over there. And we were playing with some other friends of mine. They have a band, real popular band here around Bakersfield. Very, very awesome musicians. And so we went and jammed with them. They played first, and then we played. So anyway, we played the show, and afterwards, the friend of mine whose birthday it was, he says, you know, I got the guitar for you. I got a guitar you need to check out. Well, knowing I was in no shape to get another guitar. Anyhow, I said, okay, well, you know, yeah, I'll check it out. So we got done with the show, and I texted him the next day, and I said, yeah, you know, I'll come by your house. He lives out in Shafter. He's about 30 minutes away. I drove to his house to check out the guitar, and this is a guitar I was checking out. It had some pinstriping and stuff on it, but I wore that off from playing it. That friend of mine, he says, you know, it's yours, man. Take it. I am completely in awe of his kindness and his generosity and what he did for me. That was just really cool. And in fact, that same friend actually came through and did some work on this album. Greg, I appreciate you, man. You're one hell of a guy, for real. And this guitar here, this is the guitar I used on a lot of the songs on the album. I play it live. And so when I did the Firestorm, I do the Firestorm solo. It's just an awesome playing guitar. Best Strat I've ever played in my life. I love it. It is awesome.
The smoke in heaven and I'm running like hell. I'm throwing matches in a wishy well. I burned my bridges, there's nothing more. I'll burn you down like a firestorm.
All those dicks.
Guess you want to see that, huh?
That's all the other shit I've seen. You do. I'm just kidding. Get that over there. Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, I'm ready. Ready?
Yeah.
Has it been recording this whole time?
I'm going
Oh,
to
shit.
Middle of the night, hear me burning down the tracks. Middle of the night, howling wolves, I can't get them on my back. Middle of the night, headed straight to Aberdeen. Midnight train, as I pray, take this pain away from me.
So we finished up the Two Ain't But Twice album the end of August. Shortly after that, we did Wildfire. And not too long after that, Teddy and I were jamming around, and I was playing the acoustic guitar, and we were just jamming, and we came up with this kind of jam that we were calling Middle of the Night. And it had evolved. We got to a point where we were ready to record, and we didn't have any actual lyrics. I just had Teddy had recorded the jam on his phone, and I heard a little bit of what I was kind of scatting over there, and it was just a lot of Middle of the Night stuff. So I sat down to really write the lyrics after doing the recording of the song, and I found that I was inspired by the story of a man taking a midnight train far away in search of his spirituality, and carrying around a faded Bible and really trying to get into it and figure out, what the message is within it, because I think that's something that everybody can resonate with. We all have questions, regarding, life after death and things like that. So I felt that it was the right time and the right place to have a song like that, because whether you're spiritual or not, you should be able to find resonance within that song. You should be able to relate to something in there. To some degree or another. I don't think it's really a gospel song or anything like that. I think it's still a rock song with a heavy value within it. And I'm learning to be a spiritual person, and I'm learning to be a good Christian. Teddy is very spiritual and has his stuff together. My wife is very spiritual. My daughter is very spiritual. I've got other friends as well that are. And I'm doing my best. I really am. I'm trying to be a better person every day. And that's what that song was for me. Midnight Train was about trying to be a better person and be a stronger person. Once everything came together in the jam of it, we'd written that chorus. I guess you can call it a chorus to the song, the instrumental chorus. We wrote that kind of last minute, and it really tied things together. It's a great song with a lot of really great meaning, and I'm extremely happy that it's a part of the Bad News album, Midnight Train. Take me to the other side, yeah. Roll me down these broken tracks, give me back my peace of mind.
Midnight train, take me to the other side. Roll me down these broken tracks to the place I love to hide. Midnight train, haul me straight to the east. That faded Bible in my hand, the only thing that tamed the beast. Middle of the night, hear me burning down the tracks. Middle of the night, I need a drink and I need this devil on my back. Middle of the night, headed straight to Birmingham. Midnight train, this I pray, lead me to the God of man.
It will go
Are you recording me? Will you stop recording me? You're not recording me, are you? Damn it. I can't even be in my own thoughts.
Miles, this camera shy. Didn't say that last night when we made our video.
Yeah.
I know for a fact we went together because I had a migraine.